Hi, my name is Summer Lyric, and I'm interviewing with Nostalgic Nights, and I'm interviewing Morpei, the Bolivian producer, to see what he has going on this year. It's so nice to finally meet you.
Same.
Okay. And I'm just going to ask you a few questions about yourself, about your projects, what you're doing.
Perfect.
Okay. So, what do you have in store for 2019?
So 2019, it's gonna be a very, very busy year, more than anything. I was planning a South American tour in February, April, and March. And I recently had to suspend it because I recently got an offer to play at the official pre-party of Coachella. So of course I couldn't let that opportunity leave, so I had to not suspend but postpone the tour. So now redoing all the logistics of the tour is gonna be a lot of work, but I think that just being at that party is gonna be worth it, you know?
Yeah, it's so exciting. I definitely think it's just like gonna open up so many things
Yeah,
for you.
yeah.
Get your name out, which is obviously a huge part of becoming an artist.
Yes,
a well-known
100%.
artist.
Yeah, 100%.
I wanted to ask you, who's your biggest inspiration within music? Do you have any, or is it just?
Well, I don't know if I should mention. I'm always listening to different stuff, you know. So I might have, you know, like a couple of months where I'm listening to certain producers in the house music realm, and maybe some bands from different styles. And during that time, I'll maybe do music combining those two. So, for example, these last months I've been listening to a lot of jazz fusion and techno. So I feel that was really reflected in the productions that I've been doing these last months. So it's really depending on my mood of that moment in my life, you know?
So you're from Bolivia.
Mm-hmm.
Did that have anything to do with your influence in music, or where you're going, what path you're going on, what style you do?
Yes, definitely. In the sense that really one of my goals with this is not only, you know, grow as an artist or really become famous or making it like most people say, but I feel that being from a third world country that doesn't have too much opportunities, or where artists like me don't have that much opportunities, I feel that one of the main goals in my life process is really not only putting my name but the name of my country out there, you know?
So what are some of the things that you've done to get your name out there, to get the name of Bolivia out there?
Well, primarily myself as an artist, I'm always trying to, you know, work my craft, work my music, and try to make it the best as I can. That way I can always aim to bigger labels and more established names, you know, to give me their support. And of course, while I get all these releases, while I get all this international support, I always make sure that the name of Bolivia is on the forefront, you know?
Yes.
So that's definitely something that I'm doing to put the name of Bolivia out there. And then besides me as a musician, I do promote a lot of shows. And recently, last year, launched a brand called Buri Loop. We brought it to Oklahoma last year, making it the first Bolivian electronic music concert tour to make it outside of the country.
Mm-hmm.
So we are the first brand of the country to expand outside. The first brand of electronic music parties. So
What was the name again?
Buri Loop.
Where did you come up with that?
Okay,
Why?
so
Like-
it's a funny thing. I don't think I can say the real meaning of Buri Loop, you know, from what it really meant, because it's kind of weird. But with time, the slang of the word buri in my city became if you were talking like my grandfather, you know, if he would go to a really long party, you know, a really crazy party, they would say, you know, like, hey, let's go to the booty, you know, and it's like a slang from my city. So that slang was lost for a long time, and then we tried bringing it back by incorporating the name to our name and this brand that is growing in the country. So it's a buri, a really long and crazy party in a loop.
Oh, so like over and over.
Yeah, exactly.
Super cool.
Thank
That's
you.
like a really interesting way of putting it.
Yeah, and I feel that the name of Buri also represents the way the parties are, because we always try to do like our whole branding is like come experience bizarre, right? So we always hire a lot of actors, you know, the stages are always, you know, like overproduced in a good way, and we really try to put focus on making really immersive experiences that go what's the word, that go beyond music, and I feel that that really makes it a really crazy party or a booty.
I was gonna ask this because you're very stylish. You dress very
Thank
good.
you.
Yes. Is that also influenced by the country, or just because of other people, or?
I think, I don't know. I feel fashion in Bolivia is very different. I feel that the what people wear as a trend there is very different from here, and I feel that I don't follow what they wear in Bolivia. I feel that maybe my fashion style is just whatever I find is very colorful and nice. I just get it and I use it. So I don't think it's too much of following a fashion, but just feeling good in my own skin.
Yeah.
Kind of, you know? Shout out whatever the name of the store was. You guys have really good stuff.
You don't know what it is?
No, I don't remember the name of the store.
Okay.
That should definitely go in the interview though, because it's funny.
And jewelry. You seem to like jewelry.
Yeah, I like my rings. I have this little silver, how do you call it, necklace that my grandma gave me, and I'm never gonna take it out, and I'm never gonna lose it. But yeah, I like silver a lot.
Does she mean a lot to you, your grandma?
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Everybody means a lot to me. You mean a lot to me, not to.
Oh, thank you. What's it feel like performing? Like, do you get this rush, or is it calming to you, or is it like an adrenaline?
Well, I feel that I get nervous every time, even if it's, you know, playing for like 100 people venue, you know, I still get nervous because this type of music particularly has to be, you know, it's very repetitive, but it has a purpose, you know. It's made to get people in a state of trance, you know, that state where you forget about your problems, you know, and you just focus on the music and dancing. So I feel that messing up a little bit during your set really cuts that state of trance. So I always get nervous of being that guy that cut the state of trance of the people, you know. So I always get nervous. Luckily, I feel that I already got my practice, so I haven't messed up in a long time. But there's always that little sense of nervousness. But once I'm up there and everything is working, I feel like a therapist.
Yeah,
you know,
just get in the flow. What were your favorite cities to perform in? Or what were your favorite venues to perform at?
I feel my favorite city I've ever performed at is probably, besides my country, you know, because every time I go to my country, it's like going back home, and it's a very special, you know, feeling to see all my friends, you know, and people that I seen all my life, you know, coming to see me perform, you know, that's something very special. So besides Bolivia, because of that particular feeling of going back home, I would say maybe Cuiabá, Brazil was very nice, because it's probably the most hospitalious place I've ever been to, you know, like people really treat you like if you're from their family, you know. And I got to the city and they would like send me Instagram messages saying like, yo, I really want you to come to my family's burger place, you know, to try the burger, you know. And they would like pick me up in a car, and I would get in a car with people that I never met in my life, you know, and just go with burgers, you know. Or someone else would come by to the hotel and drop me, you know, like a shirt, you know, with my name on it and the flag of Brazil, you know, like stuff like that. Really made that trip to Cuiabá special. Shout out to my Cuiabá homies. I love you guys. So yeah, definitely Cuiabá was very fun. And then venues, I feel that the best venue I played at was in Santa Barbara. It wasn't a venue, but it was the basketball arena for, I honestly don't know too much about sports, but it was like the local basketball team arena. I think it's the Thunder Arena or something like that. No, in Santa Barbara, I think it's also called the Thunder Arena. But it was definitely like very, very crazy. The biggest show I've played in my life. It was like 5,000 people, everybody jumping, screaming, standing on each other's, you know, shoulders. So that was a very special gig for me also, because it was my first time in California, and being in California was always a dream of mine since I was little. So being my first time in California and having a show like that also made that particular night very special, you know, and of course every country and every city has its magic.
Yeah.
You know, Chile, I love Chile, you know, it has its own magic. Argentina has its own magic as well, you know. Buenos Aires is one of my favorite cities in the world to go party to, so every time I play there, it's also a really, really good party. Oklahoma, you know, also has a very special place in my heart since we brought Buri Loop and was able to play the music that I love to a crowd from Oklahoma that aren't really too immersed in this genre, and really being able to see the Oklahoma crowd enjoying the music that I love and dancing and forgetting about the problems and etc. was also a very special moment for me and for Buri Loop, you know. So I feel that even though I already said which ones are my favorite in quotes, I feel that each one is very special in its own way, you know.
So you're headed to LA, right?
Yeah,
You're
yeah.
you're gonna stay there?
Well, I'm living already in LA, and I came here for the holidays. I have family here, so came to visit my family. Came to also work out a lot of paperwork of my artist visa because that's such a mess. And if anybody from the government is seeing this, you guys have to do this way more easier for us. Please, it's so frustrating. So yeah, I've just been doing like a lot of paperwork these last days, and then I'm heading back to LA in 2 days to work on the Buri Loop party that we throw on the 26th of January.
When you go through difficulties, for some people will just act like it's a failure and
Yeah.
that's it. But yeah, picking yourself up is definitely a great way to go about it. I noticed instantly when you walked in here, you were just so happy and kind, and you wanted to meet us, and you were so nice about it. And if you treat people like that, it's
Yeah.
like you'll receive that back.
Yes, 100%. Energies attract energies, you know. It's I'm a very big believer on energies, you know. And so I think that that's definitely true, you know.
Is that why your music's the way that it is? Because you think energy attracts energy and you make
Yes.
pulsating, energetic music.
Yes, definitely. Something very interesting about this particular genre, you know, it's that you know, like we were talking about indie, you know, and guitar music and very acoustic music. Like that's the kind of music I like to listen to when I'm home, for example, you know. But the music that I make is not for you to listen at home; it's for you to listen at the club. It's specifically made for you to get into that state of trance when you're in the club, you know, or at a festival or stuff like that. So I really sell music to DJs, you know, people that really buy my music are DJs that are looking for, you know, arsenal of music that they can play live to be able to manipulate the crowd in different ways. So I feel that definitely my music reflects my persona and how I want people to react and behave in the dance floor, you know.
I just am thinking about it, and I've never been to a club. So thinking about it, I think
There's always a first time.
yeah.
It's gonna be with me. You have to go to a club with me in Bolivia. We're saying we're gonna go to Bolivia in September, right?
Okay.
Okay, you have to.
But I'm.
Y'all seen it. She said that she's going, so she'll be in Bolivia.
That would be very cool, actually.
Yeah, you will love it. You will love it.
Traveling, I love traveling. But anyways, I feel like if I went, I would definitely open up because I'm kind of more reserved when it
Okay.
comes to music. Like
Okay.
I listen to all sorts of music, but I am reserved. But I feel like opening up, like being there in that moment,
Yes,
that's
100%.
so cool creating that moment for people.
Yeah, like that's something very important also in this type of music. Like I think I'm not gonna say you'll never, but it's very hard for you to become a fan of this type of music if you're really trying to listen to it, you know, while you're driving or in your car. The moment that really made change everything for me was a moment where I was at the club and I was experiencing it at the right time in the right place, you know. So I feel that it really has to be a combination of a lot of factors that are really gonna get you to understand how this music works, you know, and etc. So I feel that the place is very important. The production is also very important, and then music comes in, and then you're able to understand all the details that go behind every song that you hear at these clubs. You know?
So when you perform, do you speak during your performance, or is
Never.
it never?
Never,
You're
never.
just in the zone.
Yeah,
and
never,
you're just doing
never.
It?
I never speak. I never grab the mic. Like not that I'm afraid of like talking on the mic or anything, but just like I always thought I hate just talking on the mic when I play. play the music. I want everybody to dance, you know. I don't care if they don't know my name. I don't need to say, you know, like, yo, I'm Morpei, you know, or stuff like that. I just want people to dance. I do my job, and then I'm out, you know.
You never break the trance that
Never,
you want them
never.
to be
You
in.
can't break the trance, you know. If I turn the volume down to say something or to scream something, like I cut the trance right there in 2 seconds, you know. So I'm really careful with those details, you know. Well, at the same time, it depends, you know. If you do it with this type of music, it's not gonna work, you know. But there's other types of music where you can do it because, you know, like something that is very lyrical driven, for example, people go to see that to sing along, you know, and stuff like that. So it's not really you trying to get people in a trance with really unknown music. Kind of going into detail into this, you know. It's like the difference between, you know, like a pop artist, you know, or like an EDM DJ, for example. It's all about like EDM. It's usually very famous songs that are reworked, you know, and remixed. So it's like bringing back memories, you know. So you're making people sing along, you know. You're giving people sort of like something very known mixed with very loud and like rhythmics, you know, so they can dance to known music. Where house music is very the opposite. It's like you try to play, like the less people know the music that you're playing, the better DJ you are in this genre.
Name some defining moments of your career.
I think there's 3 very defining moments that really changed everything. I'm gonna go like kind of chronological. I feel that in my country, what changed everything for me first was the first time, or I think the only time, that Steve Aoki went to perform to Bolivia. I was like, I don't know, like 15 years old. I was very, very young. And they booked me for the show. You know, it was a really big show with like 4,000 to 5,000 people. And I was the opening act. Like I was the very first person, you know, and I was so excited to get that under my resume. But I was sure it was gonna be empty whenever I played because it was the first slot, you know, in the afternoon, you know, and Steve Aoki played, you know, like at 9 p.m. or 10 p.m. or something. And I just remember I was like up in the DJ booth seeing this like huge empty arena, and the door was delayed by like 2 hours, I think. And so I wasn't gonna play until the doors were open. And then in those 2 hours, everybody arrived. You know, I played 2 hours after I was supposed to. So suddenly I start playing, and the doors open, and the whole arena got packed like in 1 minute. You know, like everything was packed, and then I was like, oh my god, you know, like my heart was just pumping, like I didn't expect this, you know. And I played, and I just remember it was like such a good gig. Like the set was so good, I didn't mess up, you know, and everybody was jumping, everybody was screaming. And right after my set, one of the biggest rains of the year started falling, and it kind of messed all the other sets of the event until Steve Aoki performed and he killed it. But I remember that because of how the situations worked that day, you know, I was really able to shine in front of a lot of people in my country that day. And from that moment on, I started getting booked everywhere in the country, you know, to go to different cities, to play at the main clubs. And I was like very, very young. Like I was definitely the youngest kid at every single place I was going to. So that moment in Bolivia really changed everything. And then, of course, another moment that changed everything was when I moved to the States. I was kind of in a like, don't get this wrong, you know, but when I moved to Oklahoma, I kind of got into an inspirational black hole, you know, because I was so far away from home and far away from the music that I love, because I wasn't able to really go listen to music, to this type of music in the area, you know. So one changing point was my first time me going to Dallas. I went to this club, It'll Do, that everybody was talking about, you know, like, hey, this club in Dallas is so good. If you like house music, you know, you have to go to this club in Dallas. So I was like, okay, one of my favorite artists was playing there at the time, Low Stepa, and just drove to Dallas, said, okay, I need some house music in my system, you know, I'm just gonna go. Went to Dallas. It was when I turned 21 as well, because I moved here when I was 18. So I came from partying a lot and playing a lot in Bolivia to not being able to go to a bar in Oklahoma, you know, until I turned 21. So at 21, I went to Ideldo, to this venue, and I remember walking in to Low Stepa playing, and the first track, when I walked in the venue, it was one of my tracks, you know, and those 5 minutes of me in that club listening to my music being played by this guy really took me out of that inspirational black hole that I was talking about. 5 minutes made me snap out of it. So after that day, I just came back home, came back to Oklahoma when I lived here, and just started making music and just sitting in the studio, you know, 8 hours a day, every day, and then sending music to labels that I really liked, that I never believed they would like take my music, and then suddenly the labels started taking it, you know, like, okay, we like this, we want to sign this, you know, we like this, we want to sign this, and it was those 5 minutes, you know, that changed really my mentality about it. Shout out to Low Stepa for that, man. Will, you rock for that time, man. Like, I love you, man, because of that.
Was it so surreal, like hearing your music being played by
Yeah.
someone you love? So it's just like that's even a step. Just hearing your music would have been amazing, but someone that you're
a big fan, yeah.
Yeah.
And I was such a big fan of this guy at the time, you know, because I was young and I had that really. And being from Bolivia, a place where these artists never got to, you know, and people don't really know about them, I had like this, you know, like when a kid is very fond of a musician, you know, like just that very fan. I don't know what's the word. How would you call it? You know, like.
Well, fangirl for me. So
fanboy. Okay, like a very fanboy, you know, of all the artists that I like, you know. So me going to see this guy was already, you know, something like
so excited.
Yeah, on the drive I was like, I can't believe I'm going to see Low Stepa, you know, like I was so excited. I just remember being so excited after being, you know, locked up from my scene for so long, and then being in the US, one of my favorite artists, you know, that moment and that combination of all those factors that night really changed my mentality in 5 minutes, and from then on I just keep growing, and then I keep finding of more artists that were playing my music, or I would get artists that I like to play my music, even if they didn't want to. I would like try to make another song and send it to them, and make another one and send it to them until they said, okay, I'm gonna play it. Get that in my resume, you know. And, so 2 years from there, now I feel in a decent place, you know. There's definitely a long ways ahead, but I feel that I'm already taking the right steps forward, you know. And it was because of those 5 minutes that changed my whole mentality. I was about to quit everything, you know? Like I was like, you know, like I've been sending music to all these labels and they don't want my music, you know, like people don't really like my music, and being away from the music that I love for so long is really enabling me to like, or unabling me, is that a word? It makes sense, right?
It makes sense.
Unable, like not able, right?
Not able.
So
that's what you would say.
I felt I wasn't able to do music that these people like because I was so far away from the scene and not being able to listen to artists that I like.
So what should we expect from you in 2019?
A lot of great music. I have two releases coming out with Desert Hearts, one of my favorite labels in the world, and they just won they also do really cool parties in Los Angeles and around the US. They just got the award for Best Boutique Festival 2018, so shout out Mikey and the crew for that. You guys deserve it. I believe one of them I believe the two projects come out in February. Then I have a 2-track EP coming in Percomaniacs, which is Lubelski's and Ribo's label from Los Angeles as well. 2 tracks that I'm very excited about. I actually got the masterings today and they are sounding amazing. Shout out to Rob Small for doing always such an amazing work with the masterings. Then I have a single coming out with Get Physical, that is a label from Germany. Currently number 8 top selling deep house label of the world. Very excited about that. I already worked with them before, and really signing with them also was a big moment of boost for my career. Also expect a lot of music coming out with the guys from Audiophile. Delicious Recordings from Brazil. I have an EP coming out with them and a remix for Sante Sansone coming out in Delicious Recordings. an EP for the homie Wyatt Marshall and Percomaniacs. I'm super excited for that one as well. I haven't started the project as well, but the release is confirmed. I just gotta finish the song. And yeah, I feel that's everything I have locked in as far as releases so far for 2019, but hopefully I'm not forgetting any. If I did, I'm sorry.
Okay, so these are fun ones. I have to look at this though. Okay, so I'm gonna ask you some quick questions. You have to answer quickly.
Okay.
That's the point.
Perfect.
Okay, ready?
Okay.
Okay. Favorite video game?
Red Dead Redemption, by far.
That's
amazing.
a good one.
It's amazing. I'm not a big gamer, but Red Dead Redemption got me locked in a room for 5 days, non-stop, until I finished the game. Like, it was so good, I'm never gonna forget that. Amazing experience. Just the game. Yeah.
Favorite movie?
Wow. No, I was about to say Pineapple Express, but no, it's I was trying to say another name. The Clockwork Orange.
Clockwork Orange? Really?
Yeah.
That's a strange movie.
I love the Clockwork Orange. Really, really, really good movie.
Okay, so where do you see yourself in 2 years?
Hopefully in a boat in Ibiza.
Oh, really?
Yeah, definitely.
Do you love the sun?
I love the sun. And Ibiza is like the capital of the world for like house music and clubs, you know? So like just being there, like my dream is to live in Ibiza at some point, and hopefully that's in 10 years.
Sweet. How old are you now?
23.
Okay. Who are some of your favorite artists?
Artists, like in everything, just musicians. Let's say Hudson's 82, Banksy. I can never say his name. Bansky or Banksy. Bansky, how do you say his name?
The artist?
Yeah.
Like the guy
Yeah.
It's like B-A-N-K.
Banksy. I can't say that.
Okay, well, that's okay.
Take 3, Banksy. Take 4, Banksy. Banksy? Bansky. Never mind.
It's okay.
Let's go again. Hudson's 82, Damian Lazarus, really good producers, both of them. Bill Evans, jazz piano player. I would say the thing is that I don't have a favorite, but let's say those are like the 3 that I've been listening the most the last months, for example.
Okay, so did you write this one? Most romantic thing you've ever done?
Oh God. Wow, I don't know. I have no idea. Invite a girl to Bolivia during an interview.
Okay. Moving on.
That is low-key the most romantic thing I've ever done in my life.
That's sad. No
I know,
flowers?
I know. No.
Flowers?
No, like literally. Oh, that's not romantic, bro. That was just like very, very, very. That was like that was like a party story, you know. Not let's say.
Romantic is sweet, like oh.
Okay, for.
Yeah, but he kissed her right before he left. She was like, I'm waking up and
You said see ya. You kissed
Oh,
and see ya.
I did stay. I did like change flights a bunch of times to like stay longer in a city for a girl, you know.
Message to the youth. Something you want them to know.
I have to think about this one. What is my message to the youth? Okay, my message to the youth is that you should follow your dreams always. If you feel you lean to something that you love and that a lot of people don't approve of, don't listen to them. Just follow your dreams, follow your instincts, but always put all the work and all the effort that you can behind it, because if you don't put in the time, it doesn't matter if you're passionate for it or if you love it, you're not gonna get anywhere. So put in the time, put in the work, follow your passion, and most importantly, don't be afraid to fail. Always look forward to failing and learning from your mistakes.
Okay, sweet. Okay, so that's the end of the quick questions, and I think we're good here.
Perfecto.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
It was great to meet you guys.
Great to meet you too.